Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's been a while since we've done one of these. It's kind of an unboxing video, I guess you would say. From time to time, many of you are loyal part of this VTH community. Send me some really cool history-related items, whether it's some form of historical artifact or a book that you think covers an interesting topic that you'd like me to check out. And I do read or intend to read all of the books that have been sent to me, just as a way of saying thank you. I can never learn enough. It's been a lifelong quest for me to learn as much history as I can. It's one of the reasons why this channel has become successful, is because I'm able to take that 46 years of historical knowledge that I have been cramming into my brain and actually do something with it. So I want to thank all of you. And I also want to say up front, if you have sent me something and you haven't seen it yet in one of these videos, please let me know, because I have moved and I tried to keep everything that I hadn't shown in a video yet separate, so that I would be able to make sure that I covered it, but it's possible that I missed an item or two along the way. So please either comment on this video or send me an email at vloggingthroughhistory@gmail.com and let me know, hey, this is the item I sent you, I haven't seen it yet. That way I know that it's something I still need to do on the video. So first one I want to share today comes from Pierre in Germany. Pierre, you're not the same guy that I met at Napoleon's tomb, are you? Because I was thinking his name was Pierre and he was from Germany. So if you are, let me know, because that's awesome if that's the case. But Pierre attached a letter with this, and I encourage you to do that. If you do send me something, please send me a little note with it. Let me know who you are and why you decided to send me that particular thing. It means a lot to me when you do that. So he said, I've been watching you now for 1 to 2 years and decided I wanted to send something to you for you to open it. He apologized for his English, but Pierre, your English is fantastic. It's really, really good. He said he was raised by a German-French family, but not by an English one. But he has a bunch of old war newspapers from the First World War that are German. And he sent me one of those. And this is dated Lille, April 19th, 1915. And it's in German, which I believe the Germans were occupying Lille. Lille's a city in Belgium, which I've been to, beautiful city. So the Germans occupied Lille at this point. And there it is, and it's in fantastic shape. And it's also a great opportunity for me to work on my German by trying to read this. And this is going to give me a wonderful opportunity to read some of this. And when there's words I don't understand, I can go back and learn them, and it's going to help me to learn German better. So thank you so much for this, Pierre. This is amazing. This is one of my favorite things that anybody's ever sent to me. And I'm really going to spend a lot of time enjoying that. This is another one that came to me. And this one's even older. And I apologize, I don't think I have a name for who sent it to me. But it's something that I'm really, really excited about. Oh, here we go. It's from Kim and Jeff Weichert. That's who sent it to me. So I don't know if they're the ones who are actually providing it to me. If so, thank you, Kim and Jeff, or if it was bought from them and sent to me. But this is, and if you know anything about how much I love Ulysses S. Grant, not only as a general and a historic figure, but as a person, I just think he's one of my favorite people who has ever existed in the historical space. This is a Harper's Weekly. If you're not familiar with Harper's Weekly, it was one of the biggest publications in the United States in the Civil War era and in the post-war era. And this one's dated September 28th, 1872. So this would be toward the end of Ulysses S. Grant's first term as President of the United States. And it's actually got Grant on the cover. And it talks about some of what's going on in Grant's administration at this time. Look at that. How incredibly cool is that? It's the entire publication, and so there's multiple pages of it here, and I'm going to have a lot of fun very carefully reading through that. And these things are things that I want to be able to read, but then I also want to preserve. I'm setting up a space here where I do my recording to put all this stuff on display so that other people can see it as well. So it's going to be kind of my own little VTH museum. And once I get a lot of it set up, I'll probably do a video showing all of it to you so that you guys can see how I've chosen to put some of this stuff on display. I'm still working on exactly how I'm going to do that, but that's amazing. And whoever sent that to me, I want to thank you for that. This one was sent to me a while ago, and I missed it on the last couple of opening videos that I did. And this comes from, actually, you know what? I don't think that's the one that goes with this. I know there was probably a note that came with this, but Bill O'Reilly's book, Killing Patton, which you guys know I'm fascinated with with George S. Patton as a general. He's one of my favorite generals to learn about in American history. So I know that I've talked to the person who sent this to me, and I'm forgetting who it is off the top of my head. So please let me know in the comment section below so I can make sure. I'm going to pin a comment with the names of the people who sent me these things, who reach out to me that I didn't previously mention, so that I make sure that I thank you properly for those things. So, and with that in mind, I've gotten a number of other things as far as books go that have been sent to me. And this one I'm excited about as well. And there's no name that came with this one either. But this is called Behind Hitler's Lines: The True Story of the Only Soldier to Fight for Both America and the Soviet Union in World War II. It's by Thomas Taylor. It's a small book, but it's a good 350 pages long. And I'm excited to learn that story. You guys know how much I love personal stories, individual stories from conflicts like that. So excited about that one. Okay, so this one here is another one that was sent to me, and I'm just now opening it because I believe there's a note inside of it. And this is an older book. This is obviously an original publication of this particular book. So I want to take a look at the date on this. It's a book on the 101st Field Artillery during the First World War. And again, love these kinds of things. This was published in 1940. And it's 101st Field Artillery of the American Expeditionary Forces. And there is a note that came with this one. And it really, actually, it's just the Amazon order for this one. So again, just Edmund is the name of the person who bought it. So thank you, Edmund, for this. This 1940 edition of the history of the 101st Field Artillery. I'm excited about that. You guys know how much I love the Great War. And I've really been lately getting into more of learning. A lot of my learning so far has been about the British Expeditionary Forces. I've been getting more into the American Expeditionary Forces. For some upcoming videos you're going to be seeing about the Meuse-Argonne Offensive. You probably won't see those till the spring, and there's a reason for that. And it has to do with Project X. I will say this about Project X. If you go to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and look up Great War, not The Great War, I think it's just Great War. And you'll see a list of cast members, people who are playing Pershing and George C. Marshall, and who are playing Henry Johnson. I believe the actor who's playing Henry Johnson actually played Lawrence and Philip Hamilton on the West End for Hamilton. So that's really cool. But that's Project X. I can tell you that much because that's out there publicly now. So beyond that, I won't tell you anything. All right, a couple more I want to show you. I've got a bunch, so I'm going to divide these into a couple of videos because I won't be able to cover all of these in one. Let me go grab the next one. Okay, again, no name came with this one, but I think somewhere along the line, I mentioned something about how I'd love to get my hands on a Theodore Roosevelt bobblehead. Someone heard my cries and answered my need. So whoever you are, thank you for that. And in many of these cases, no note came. In some of these cases, I apologize. I may have moved the note and misplaced it. Moving forward, as stuff arrives, I'm going to film it right away the day it comes and then compile it all into one video. That way I won't miss any more. But in moving from my old studio to the new one, some of the stuff may have gotten misplaced, so I apologize if that's the case. This is cool, and I'm going to get this one out and put it on display, probably behind me somewhere here. I'm still working on the behind me area. I've got another shelf coming. All right, a couple more books I want to share that have been sent to me. This one here is the last stand of the Tin Can Sailors, the extraordinary World War II story of the U.S. Navy's finest hour. So I'm excited about this one. This is about the Battle of Samar, October 25th, 1944. Very cool. Trying to show you so you can see it. Excited to dive into that one. I've got a lot of reading ahead of me, folks, but I love to read. I am a voracious reader, so that's not a problem. I probably do 100 to 200 pages a day on my own. Yanks in the RAF, the Royal Air Forces, the story of maverick pilots and American volunteers who joined Britain's fight in World War II. If you saw that less than stellar movie Pearl Harbor, I know a lot of people criticize it. I thought it had some great moments. Of course, they had to throw the love story in there. But you see Ben Affleck's character flying for the RAF as an American. And there were Americans who did that before the United States got involved in the war. So this is a story of some of those guys. Before Pearl Harbor, American volunteer pilots risked their lives in defense of Britain. This is the story of those earliest days of World War II. So again, I'm excited about that one. A couple more books real quick I got to show you. I've actually got quite a stack of them here. So I'm going to go through these real fast because none of them have notes with them of who they are. This is the Nihao incident, the true story of the Japanese fighter pilot who after the Pearl Harbor attack crash landed in Hawaii and terrorized the residents. So check that out. That's a shorter book. I'll probably do that one fairly soon here. Before the Veterans Die by Dale Carver. He was a platoon leader in the 424th Infantry, the 106th Division during World War II. They were badly mauled during the initial stages of the Battle of the Bulge. 2 of their regiments were encircled and captured. And then they ended up in a POW camp where they had to run the POW camp in Germany later on in the war. And so this is kind of a memoir of his service with those units and everything that they experienced. So again, love individual stories like that. Love hearing those stories that people don't normally get to hear about. Civil War book that we're going to get into, and this is not a battle I know very much about because it was probably the westernmost action of the Civil War of any significance. It's called the Battle of Glorieta Pass, a Gettysburg in the West, March of 1862. And that was in New Mexico, I believe, is where that battle took place. So we're going to definitely be diving into that one fairly soon. I got another one, the Lake Erie campaign of 1813. I had at least one ancestor who fought in that campaign during the War of 1812. This took place in 1813. So that's one I'm really excited about. Oliver Hazard Perry. That's where he very famously said, "We have met the enemy and they are ours." So I'm excited about that one. This is not a book that anybody sent to me. Okay. Here's a real shorter book, but I'm excited to learn about this one. The CSS Shenandoah, which is a Confederate raider that didn't surrender until almost the end of 1865. And it was probably the last unit of Confederates that continued to fight that far after the war came to an end. And then this last one, if you've seen my videos where I've talked about something known as The Last Battle, and I actually just got a book called The Last Battle to learn more about this as well. It's the story of when Americans and French and Germans from the Wehrmacht defended Castle Itter in Austria against SS troops, including a former French prime minister who was one of the political prisoners being held at Castle Itter. It's a fascinating story. Sabaton has a song about it that I did a breakdown of. But this is a German language book about Major Joseph Gangl, who was the officer in charge of the Wehrmacht troops that were fighting alongside the French and the Americans there. And he's one of those few Wehrmacht soldiers who is remembered as a hero to this day. And it's because of those actions at the end of the war. I believe he was Austrian himself. And it's in German. So this is an opportunity for me to work on my German, which is something that I'm priding myself on trying to get better at. So thank you for that. It serves 2 purposes. It helps me to learn about a fascinating historical epic moment. but also helps me with my German. So there's more. There are some things I haven't gotten to yet that I will be showing to you soon. But two things. If you sent me one of those things and I didn't say your name, please let me know in the comment section below so that I can acknowledge you and thank you properly for that. And second, if you have sent me something you haven't seen me show yet, either comment or email me vloggingthroughhistory@gmail.com and let me know what it is you sent me so that I can make sure that the next video I cover that for sure. And if you want to send me something that you feel I would be interested in, I'll put the mailing address in the description of this video. That is not where I live. It's just a mailing address for my studio where I do my recording work. So don't show up thinking you're gonna like meet me or something. That'd just be weird and inappropriate. But yeah, you can do that there. And please, please, please leave a note. Tell me who you are and why you felt like it was something you wanted to send to me. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me when you do that. And we'll see you again soon with another video like this. Thanks.